Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Global Sustainable Research Solutions. This lecture is consumer behavior. If we want to study consumer behavior, we should know about utility. What is total utility and marginal utility? The law of diminishing marginal utility. How we establish a link between marginal utility and demand curve, indifference curve and budget line. What is utility? It is the ability of a good to satisfy a want. Utility is the want satisfying power. The utility of a good or service is the satisfaction or pleasure one gets from consuming it. So, what is utility? It is a want satisfying power. It is the ability of a good to satisfy a want. The utility of a particular good or service is the satisfaction or pleasure one gets from consuming it. The utility is measured in utils. The unit of utility is utils. What is total utility? The total utility is the total amount of satisfaction or pleasure a person gets from consuming some specific quantity of a goods. For example, we consume 10 units of a good or a service. What is marginal utility? Marginal utility is the extra satisfaction a consumer realizes from an additional unit of that product. For example, if he/she consumes the 11th unit. Similarly, marginal utility is the change in total utility that results from the consumption of one more unit of a product or a service. Here is example of total utility and marginal utility. In column 1, we have tacos consumed per meal 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and up to 7. In column 2, we have total utility. If we consume 0 tacos, then our utility is total utility is 0, and if we consume 1 tacos, then total utility is 10. And similarly, if we consume 2 tacos, then utility is 18. At 3 tacos, total utility is 24, and at 7 tacos, the total utility we obtain is 28. In column 3, we have marginal utility in utils. When we consume unit 1 of tacos, then our marginal utility is 10, and when we consume 2 tacos per meal, the marginal utility is 8. So as we consume successive unit of a good or a service, our total utility increases, but on the other hand, the marginal utility is decreasing. The rate of total utility increase is decreasing. Here we have the curve of total utility that we derived from the previous data. Here you can see that from 1 to 5 the total utility decreases. It is 30 at unit 5, and at unit 6 it is also 30. So it remains constant from unit 5 to unit 6, then total utility starts to decline. This is the curve of marginal utility. This curve indicates that as we consume successive units of a good or service, the marginal utility declines, it becomes 0, and then it starts to remain negative. What is law of diminishing marginal utility? According to law of diminishing marginal utility, the gains in satisfaction become smaller as successive units of a specific product are consumed. Diminishing marginal utility provide us a simple rationale for the law of demand. We can derive law of demand from law of diminishing marginal utility. The law of diminishing marginal utility represents that the gains in satisfaction become smaller and smaller as successive units of a specific goods or service are consumed. There are two types of utility: cardinal utility and ordinal utility. The Cardinal's duty is an actual measure of utility in utils. Cardinal's duty means that an individual can attach specific values or numbers of utils from consuming each quantity of a good or basket of goods. In cardinal duty, we assign a specific number, a value to each quantity we consume or basket of goods we consume. On the other hand, the ordinal utility is the utility received from consuming various amount of a good or service. We only rank the utility in ordinal utility. The ordinal utility is the ranking of the utility we received from consuming various amount of a good or service. In short, ordinal utility only ranks various consumption bundles. On the other hand, cardinal utility provides an actual index or measure of satisfaction. Marginal utility and demand. According to law of diminishing marginal utility, where the demand for a given product slope downward. The law of diminishing marginal utility explains why the demand curve for a good or service slopes downward. If successive units of a good yield smaller and smaller amounts of marginal or extra utility, then the consumer will buy additional units of product only if its price falls. Diminishing marginal utility supports the idea that price must decline in order for quantity demanded to increase. In other words, consumer behaves in a ways that make demand curves downward sloping. What is consumer behavior? The consumer behavior explains of how consumers allocate their income or resources to the purchase of different goods and services to maximize their well-being. If we want to study consumer behavior, we should know different things like rational behavior. What is rational behavior? The consumer is a rational person who tries to use his or her money income to derive the maximum amount of satisfaction or utility from it. Consumer want to get the most for their money, or they want to maximize their total utility. They are engaged in rational behavior. What are preferences? Each consumer has clear-cut preferences for certain of the goods and services that are available in the market. Buyers also have a good idea of how much marginal utility they will get from successive units of the various amounts they might purchase. So, what is the meaning of preferences? Preferences means that if you want to buy different bundles of goods in the market, then you should have clear cut preferences. What is your first preferences, what is your second preferences, and what is your third preference. Budget constraint. At any point in time, the consumer has a specific limited amount of money income. Every consumer has budget constraint, income constraint. Since each consumer supplies a finite amount of human and property resources to society, so he or she earns only limited income. Every consumer faces a budget constraint. Even consumer who earn millions of dollars in a month, in a year. Of course, this budget limitation, this budget constraint is more severe for a consumer with an average income than for a consumer with an extraordinary higher income. Prices. As we know, goods are scarce relative to the demand for them. So every good has a price tag. We assume that the price of each good is unaffected by the amount of it that is bought by any particular person. After all, each person's purchase is a tiny part of total demand. Also, because the consumer has limited number of dollars, he has limited income, he has limited resources, he or she can't buy everything wanted. So this point drives home the reality of scarcity to each consumer. So the consumer must compromise. He or she must choose the most satisfying mix of goods and services. Different individuals will choose different mixes of goods and services. What is utility maximization rule? According to utility maximizing rule, to maximize satisfaction, the consumer should allocate his or her money income so that the last dollar spent on each product yield the same amount of extra or marginal utility. When the consumer has balanced his or her margins using the above rule, he or she has achieved consumer equilibrium and has no incentive to alter his or her expenditure pattern. In fact, any person who have achieved consumer equilibrium would be worse off. Total utility would decline. If there were any change in the bundle of goods purchased, providing there is no change in taste, income, products or prices. So, if the goods we have purchased, there is no change in their taste, our income, the products or prices, we should not change our bundle. If we change our bundle, our rules of utility maximization will disturb. So, what is utility maximization rule? According to utility maximizing rule, to maximize satisfaction, the consumer should allocate his income, his money, so that the last dollar spent to each product yield the equal amount or same amount of extra or marginal utility. Here we have two goods, goods X and goods Y. We want to purchase goods X and goods Y with our available money income. If utility were cardinally measurable, the condition for constraint utility maximization rule would be for the consumer to spend all income on X and Y in such a way that the marginal utility of X divided by price of goods X should be equal to marginal utility of good Y divided by price of good Y. So if we cross multiply the first left equations, we get marginal utility of good X divided by marginal utility of good Y is equal to price of goods X divided by price of good Y. The ratio of marginal utility of X divided by marginal utility of Y is called MRX. It is called marginal rate of substitution. The marginal rate of substitution is equal to price of good X divided by price of good Y. In the above equations, the marginal utility of good X divided by the price of good X equals the marginal utility of good Y divided by the price of good Y. And marginal utility of X to marginal to price of X is the extra or marginal utility per dollar spent on Y. Similarly, marginal utility of Y divided by price of Y is the marginal utility per dollar spent on good Y. So, for constraint utility maximization or optimization, the marginal utility of the last dollar spent on goods X and goods Y should be the same. Here we have example of utility maximization rule. We have quantity of good X from 1 to 5. We have marginal utility of good X from 10, 6, 4, 2 and 0. Similarly, we have quantity of good Y 4, 5, 6, 7 and 10. We have marginal utility of good Y 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. For example, this table shows that a portion of the declining marginal utility schedule for good X and good Y on the assumption that the marginal utility of good X is independent of marginal utility of good Y. That is, the marginal utility of X is not affected by how much Y the individual consumes, and the marginal utility of Y is not affected by the amount of good X. If the price of good X is $2 and the price of good Y is $1 per unit, and we have income of $10. The consumer should spend $4 to purchase good 2 units of good X, and the remaining $6 to purchase 6 units of good Y, so that the equation of marginal utility maximizing is satisfied. That is, 6 utils divided by 2 is equal to 3 utils divided by 1. We have derived this equation from the formula: the marginal utility of X divided by price of X is equal to marginal utility of Y divided by price of Y. So we have utility maximization rule. We have 3 utils from both of good X and good Y. So we have maximize our utility. What is indifference curve? It shows the various combinations of two commodities that the consumer equals satisfaction. What is indifference curve? The curve showing the various combinations of two commodities that gives the consumer equal satisfaction. A higher indifference curve indicates a higher level of satisfaction, and a lower curve indicates a less level of satisfaction. However, we have no indication as to how much additional satisfaction or utility a higher indifference curve indicates. That is, different indifference curves simply provide an ordering or ranking of the individual's preferences. Consumers' taste can be examined with ordinal utility, and ordinal utility is based on three assumptions. First assumption, we assume that when we face with any two baskets of goods, the consumer can determine whether he or she prefers basket A to basket B, basket B to basket A, or whether he or she is indifferent between the two. The second assumption is that we assume that the taste of the consumer are consistent or transitive. That is, if the consumer taste if the consumer states that he or she prefer basket A to basket B, and also that he or she prefers basket B to basket C, then that consumer will prefer basket A to basket C. The third assumption is that we assume that the more of a commodity is preferred to less. That is, we assume that the commodity is a good rather than a bad, and the consumer is never satiated with the commodity. What is difference between good and bad? Good, it is a commodity of which more is preferred to less. What is bad? An item of which less is preferred to more is called bad. Here is we have example of indifference curve. An indifference curve schedule showing the various combinations of hamburger good X and soft drinks good Y that gives the consumer equal satisfaction. In the left hand equation, we have soft drinks per unit of time on vertical axis and hamburgers per unit of time on x-axis. We have derived the indifference curve. We have quantities of hamburgers 1, 2, 4 and 7. We have quantities of good Y, the soft drinks 10, 6, 3 and 1. You can see that on indifference curve on left side we have different combinations: combination A, combination B, combination C, combination F. So if the consumer choose any combination, the combination 1 is at combination A we have 1 hamburgers and 10 soft drinks. At combination B, she may choose 2 hamburgers and 6 soft drinks. The combination C is 3 soft drinks and 4 hamburgers, and the combination F is 1 soft drinks and 7 hamburgers. If you choose any combination, on the same indifference curve, her level of satisfaction will be same. The individual is indifferent among combination A, B, C and F since they all lie on indifference curve U1. U1 refers to a higher level of indifference curve than U0 but lower than U2. On the right side equation we have indifference curve U0, U1 and U2. The level of satisfaction of indifference curve U1 is greater than U0 but the level of satisfaction of indifference curve U1 is less than U2. The U2 indifference curve have highest level of satisfaction. Indifference map. The entire set of indifference curves reflecting the consumer taste and preferences is called indifference map. Here we have indifference curve I1, I2, I3 and I4. This entire set of indifference curves which reflecting the consumer's preferences and taste is called indifference map. There are different characteristics of indifference curve. Indifference curves are negatively sloped because if one basket of good X and Y contains more of X, it will have to contain less of Y than another basket in order for the two baskets to give the same level of satisfaction and be on the same indifference curve. A positively sloped indifference curve would indicate that one basket containing more of both commodities gives the same utility or satisfaction to the consumer as another basket containing less of both commodities and no other commodity, because we are dealing with goods rather than bads. Such a curve would not possibly be an indifference curve. So indifference curves are negatively sloped. Indifference curve never positively sloped. Indifference curve also can't intersect. Intersecting curves are inconsistent with the definition of indifference curves. Indifference curves are usually convex to the origin, that is, they lie above any tangent to the curve. Convexity results from or is the reflection of decreasing marginal rate of substitution. What are the characteristics of indifference curve? Indifference curves are negatively sloped. Indifference curves are never positively sloped. Indifference curve can't intersect. Indifference curve are convex to the origin. Here you can see that different indifference curve. Indifference curves can't be positively sloped or intersect. What is marginal rate of substitution? The amount of a good that a consumer is willing to give up for an additional unit of another good while remaining on the same indifference curve is called marginal rate of substitution. The marginal rate of substitution, it is the amount of a good that a consumer is willing to give up for an additional unit of another good while remaining on the same indifference curve. The marginal rate of substitution of good X for good Y, MRSXY, refers to the amount of Y that the individual is willing to exchange per unit of X and maintain the same level of satisfaction. Note that marginal rate of substitutions XY measures the downward vertical distance, the amount of Y that the individual is willing to give up per unit of horizontal distance. At horizontal distance, we have per additional unit of X required to remain on the same indifference curve. The formula of indifference curve is minus delta Y divided by delta X. Because of the reduction in Y, marginal rate of substitution is negative. However, we multiply by minus 1 and express marginal rate of substitution as a positive value. Here you can see the figure. Here you can see the diagram. Here you can see the curve of marginal rate of substitution. The marginal rate of substitution, the absolute slope of the indifference curve declines as we move downward to the indifference curve from combination A, combination to B, to C and F, the slope of the indifference curve declines. This follows from or is a reflection of the convexity of the indifference curve. The downward slope of the indifference curve represents the convexity of the indifference curve. That is, as the individual moves down an indifference curve and is left with less and less y, that is soft drinks, and more, say hamburgers, each remaining unit of y becomes more valuable to the individual, and each additional unit of x becomes less valuable to the individual. So the individual is willing to give up less and less of y to obtain each additional unit of x. It is the property that makes marginal rate of substitution diminish and indifference curve convex to the region. There are some special type of indifference curve: the horizontal indifference curve, vertical indifference curve that are negatively sloped straight, and the another indifference curve that is concave. Horizontal indifference curve represent as in the top left panel indicates that x is a neuter. If the indifference curve is horizontal, it indicates that x is a neuter good, that is, the consumer is indifferent between having more or less of it. Vertical indifference curves, as in the top right panel, indicates instead that commodity y is a neuter. Indifference curves that are negatively sloped straight lines, as in the bottom left panel, indicates that the marginal rate of substitution xy is constant, and so x and y are perfect substitutes for the individual. The bottom right panel shows indifference curve that are concave to the origin. What is budget line? A budget line showing the various combination of two goods that a consumer can purchase by spending all his income. What is budget line? It is a line showing the various amount of two goods that a consumer can purchase by spending all his income. Budget constraint: the limitation on the amount of goods that a consumer can purchase imposed by his or her limited income and the prices of the goods. By assuming that a consumer spends all his or her income on good X hamburgers and good Y soft drinks, we can express the budget constraint as Px Qx plus Py is equal to I, where Px is the price of good X, Qx is the quantity of good X, Py is the price of good Y, Qy is the price of good Y, and I is the consumer's money income. In above equation, we postulate that the price of X times the quantity of X plus the price of Y times the quantity of Y equals the consumer's money income. That is, the amount of money spent on X plus the amount of money spent on Y equals the consumer income. We have budget line Px Qx plus Py Qy is equal to 1. By rearranging the above equation, we can express the consumer's budget constraint in a different and more useful form as follow. By subtracting the Px Qx from both sides of above equation, we get Py Qy is equal to I minus Px Qx. Now, by dividing both sides of above equation by Py, we isolate Qy on the left hand side and we get Qy is equal to I over Py minus into Px over Py multiplied by Qx. The first term on the right hand side of above equation is the vertical or y-intercept of the budget line and minus py divided by and minus px divided by py is the slope of the budget line. Here we have also an example with an income of $10, price of good y $1, price of good x $2, we get budget line JK. This shows that the consumer can purchase 10y and 0x endpoint or 8y and 1x point L, 6y and 2x point V or 0y and 5f endpoint K. I over Py is equal to $10 divided by 1 is equal to 10 is the vertical or y-intercept of the budget line, and the slope of the budget line is minus 2. Here we have budget line, we have quantity of y on vertical x-axis, we have quantity of x on horizontal x-axis. Changes in budget line. What are the factors that can change the budget line? When only the consumer's income changes, the budget line will shift up if income I rises and down if I falls, but the slope of the budget line remains unchanged. If only the price of good X changes, the vertical or y-intercept remain unchanged and the budget line rotates upward or counterclockwise if px falls and downward or clockwise if px rises. If only the price of y changes, the horizontal or x-intercept will be the same, but the budget line will rotate upward if py falls and downward if py rises. Here the both diagram shows how the changes in income and the price of good x or the price of good y changes the budget line. Here now we estimate, we find, we will be in a position to determine constraint utility maximization or consumer optimization or consumer equilibrium. What is consumer equilibrium? It is the process by which the consumer reaches the highest level of satisfaction given his or her income and the prices of goods. A rational consumers maximize utility by trying to attain the highest indifference curve possible given his or her budget line. This occurs when an indifference curve is tangent to the budget line so that the slope of the indifference curve, that is the marginal rate of substitution, is equal to slope of the indifference to the budget line. So where consumer equilibrium occurs, it occurs when the slope of the indifference curve is equal to the slope of the budget line. When the slope of the indifference curve is equal to slope of the budget line, that is marginal rate of substitution MRS xy is equal to price of x divided by price of y, then we have consumer equilibrium. We know that the slope of the indifference curve is marginal rate of substitution and the slope of the budget line is the ratio of price of x divided by price of y. So when the consumer attains the highest level of indifference curve with his or her budget line, then we have achieved the consumer equilibrium. Here the diagram shows how the consumer have attained the consumer equilibrium. At point B the consumer is in equilibrium. Although we know that the indifference curve U2 have more satisfaction, but the consumer cannot attain this U2 level of indifference curve because he have less income, he has budget constraint. So the consumer equilibrium occurs at indifference curve U1 at point B where the slope of the indifference curve MRSXY is equal to slope of the budget line Px divided by Py. What is corner solution? If indifference curves are everywhere either flatter or steeper than the budget line, or if they are concave rather than convex to the origin, then the consumer maximizes utility by spending all income on either good Y or good X. It is called corner solutions. In the left panel, indifference curves are flatter than the budget line, and U1 is the indifference curve that the consumer can reach by purchasing 10 units of good Y. It is the point J. The middle panel shows indifference curves everywhere steeper than the budget line, and U1 is the highest indifference curve that the consumer can reach by spending all his income to purchase 5 units of X. It is point K. In the right panel, concave indifference curve U1 is tangent to the budget line at point B, but this is not the optimum point because the consumer can reach higher indifference curve U2 by consuming only good Y. It is point J. So now you will be in a position to know what is consumer equilibrium, what is total utility. It is the want satisfying power of a good. What is total utility? What is marginal utility? What is law of diminishing marginal utility? What is relationship between law of diminishing marginal utility and demand curve? What is indifference curve? What is budget line? Thank you for watching Global Sustainable Research Solutions.